L'inquadratura.
Framing. Here we've reached a crucial point in our course. Framing is the basis of audiovisual writing. The definition that you've just read is simple. Framing sets up the bounded space within which a given action takes place. I must add, framing sets up the bounded space within which a given action takes place in a given time. Now, what does this mean? It means that we have identified our subject, the focus of our attention, but now that we have found him, we must also frame him. That is, we must decide what space we put around our subject who's engaged in some action or another. Now let's go back to our tail-wagging friend. If our dog is running around without an owner, we could, one could say, open our shot with a frame wide enough around the dog to show that he's going around alone. How could we communicate the same thing were we to choose a narrow field of view? We couldn't. But if we also want to say that the same dog goes around alone happy and carefree, then we may use a narrow frame to show his wagging tail and his peaceful snout. But that's not sufficient. We'll have to decide how long to keep each frame. In the following readings, you learn that the moment when we film a given frame, many other factors come into play. For the moment, it's sufficient to learn this concept. We have a subject, and our subject is the center of attention. We must never lose sight of him, nor of the things that relate to it. And we must constantly ask ourselves, each and every time we're recording, how effectively are we contributing to our intended narrative with the frame we're using, and for what amount of time is it appropriate to hold it. Further on, we'll address the exact question of field sizes and camera placements, and so we'll learn formal rules about the setting up of frames. But for the moment, it's sufficient to say that framing expresses all that which a viewer sees, down to each individual pixel. In that way, it's perhaps not so different from an exercise in photographic composition. A composition, though, that is unlike photographs, in that it does not explain itself. It's rather narrated by all that which is inside it, the movement, the sound, the action that occur during a defined lapse of time. This is where the second crucial fact on framing a shot comes out. How long should it last? If our shot of our given dog lasts only a second, we'll never manage to tell the story we wanted to tell before. We'll just have a frame of a dog at its center, and that's it. But if my camera holds that shot through time and I follow the dog in his wanderings, then we have the beginning of a story. A frame then is not a photograph, and indeed photographers, switching to the medium of video, often have problems. They shoot what is essentially a series of beautiful photographs in motion, but without narrative relations between them. To you, what must be clear is, I am shooting something that happens in a defined space that I choose, and for a given time that I also choose. Is it clear? The space around our center of attention, and thus around our subject, naturally doesn't only have a narrative function. It also has an aesthetical one. Framing a shot of natural scenery, however, must also tell a story, and I highlight this. Perhaps with the wave, say the waves of the sea, the moving of the leaves. That is, the motion of moving elements that are in the background and are in relation to the main focus of attention. That is also crucial. But what is the relation between the frame that precedes the frame I'm shooting and the frame that will follow it? This is something that we will understand in the fourth lesson of the course.